Hope you guys are enjoying these sleep bags under my eyes as much as I am. G'day team, it's Chris speaking. Welcome or welcome back. Today we are going to be looking at another episode of Building Your Support Network. I had to think about that for a second. So what we are going to talk about today is coming out, or I guess discussing your transition, at least socially, with your extended friend group. Now, last time we did an episode of this, we talked about our close friend group, and those are the people that I came out to sort of in person, or via a direct message, and then we had a conversation about it. I'm talking now about the sort of, I guess, extended group to include acquaintances that I came out to on social media. Now, social media is a platform that allows you to reach a large number of people very quickly, and I guess to me, my most important aspect of the message that I put out to people was that if you don't care or you don't want to know about it, you can scroll past. That is at your discretion. I don't see it, you don't have to see it. It's up to you whether you click on it or not. So I'm going to find the post that I put up on my Facebook page. Now, I'm not sure how far into my transition I actually came out to these people. I know with my close friends, I was seeing a gender therapist, and I was like, yes, I am transitioning. I came out to them as questioning first, and then we had that conversation a little bit down the track of where I'm going to socially transition and then medically transition. And they were kept up to date of all those different steps along the way. Whereas with my extended friend group and my acquaintances that I came out to on Facebook, I'm pretty sure it was, I'm not sure at what point I did that. So when I find the message, I will tell you how far along that I did that. I've just noticed, I'm looking in the camera, that the hairline has started to recede quite badly on this side. Thanks, Pops. I found it. I came out publicly to my extended friend group and acquaintance group on Facebook on the 31st of March 2019. So I started gender therapy in October of 2018 after waiting for about 6 weeks to get into an appointment. And then December of that year, I decided that I was going to pursue a social transition and see how that felt. And then I started to talk about medical transition and started my road to hormone replacement therapy in, it must have been February of 2019. And I'd started going to a gender clinic, and then I had my first appointment, and then I had another appointment, and then I had to wait for Easter. So those appointments were like 2 weeks. And that personally for me was just because I needed some extra support in the decision and figuring it out. So I decided to go to a secondary gender related clinic, and they ended up signing me off on hormones in June. And then I wanted to get my name changed done first, so I waited until July, and then I started July that year. So I was well into my social transition with my close friends at this point, and then I decided to come out to everyone and tell them that I was pursuing transition. I'm going to read the message, and I'm going to read it off my phone, so I do apologise. I will put it on the screen for you somewhere, and you can read along too. This is how I did it. This is not how you have to do it, but it is social media does give you a platform to come out to a lot of people very quickly, and yeah, this was mine. So, some of you know, most of you don't, so here it is. For the last 9 months, I've been struggling to come to terms with my gender identity and have sought counselling to help manage the disconnect between my brain and my body. Some days are good, some days are bad, but a lot are spent in limbo. This process has made me evaluate my whole existence to try to look for signs that should have helped me figure this out sooner. I'm becoming more and more comfortable in my identity, but I can't sit here and tell you that I'm 100% sure. For the last couple of months, I've asked those closest to me to change my pronouns and refer to me as he and him. I've asked that my name only be referred to as Chris, and a few extra changes along the way. On this day of trans visibility, I want to thank all those who supported me, who have held me when I've completely fallen down, who have made me feel valid and loved. I want to thank those of you who don't quite understand but are respectful enough to try. You know who you are. To the rest of you, I want to share a cheeky poem I wrote on a particularly good day to put this into perspective. Remember, we're all valid, we're all loved, and we all deserve to be heard. My coming out poem because I'm that cool. It started with a pair of socks and long forgotten summer frocks. I purchased a pair of cheeky jocks, then off went all my long brown locks. It took some time to come to terms with actually wanting to have boy germs. This past year has quite affirmed a jealousy of those with sperm. Experiments to changing names to dysphoria, crying and mind games, self-hatred, hurting, mountains of shame, but it is myself I will acclaim. Although the road has thrown a curve, I'm the one I wish to serve. Through time I'll learn, go out, observe, even if I hit a nerve. The smiles and joy are worth the risk, I know the journey is not brisk. The learnings I'll need not to diss, to find a place, a home, a bliss. I'm such a nerd. But I still like the poem, so there's that. I'll put that on the screen too. I've deliberated putting a lot of poetry that I've written through transition on a Patreon or somewhere that you can see it, because I think there's a lot of power in our journeys through those words, and I think when we write them and we read them back, sometimes they seem dramatic and overemphasized, but that is the journey. It is dramatic and it is overemphasized for us going through it. Anyway, that is how I came out to my extended friend group. I did it via a poem and a Facebook post about 4 months before I started hormones. And then when I started hormones, I think I told a lot of people through the same way. But those who were closest to me just sort of started to see the new profile pictures that I was putting up. If anyone was following me on social media, they started to see it there. I started the YouTube channel about a month, I think, before I started hormones, and I put the first video up explaining that I don't identify as female, or I don't identify as a woman, and that got shared, and then I think about 100 people there saw it, and that was another way that I came out. And I'll put the link to my first video down below if you're curious as to what has changed between that video and this video. It's basically just some facial hair and my voice dropping. Anyway, that's it for today. That's enough of a rant. Anyway, that's it from today. It's enough of a rant from me. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of it, then click my face somewhere down below. And if you do want to know anything specific about building your support network, I've got another 3 of these. Just let me know down below and I'll see if I can work it in. Okay, bye.